you, what were some of the positives you took away from this game this past week?
Well, the biggest thing is we came out victorious. I think we've handled another form of adversity. Our kids, found a way to get it done, and that's the biggest challenge week in and week out, to make sure you make improvement from the previous week. I thought we were more physical, more violent defense than we were the previous 2 weeks, and I thought we played for a little bit more consistency in the first half for sure.
What about this UAB team? They got some talent on this offense now. Is this the most talented group you guys have faced so far?
No doubt about it. It starts with their offense. Their offensive line is a bunch of guys who's played a lot of ball together. They're a unit that plays well as one. They do a great job in the run game and in their play action game. They have an outstanding running back that's probably the tops in our conference. He's a guy that's probably going to be one of the best backs in the country when it's all said and done. And then their receivers. They got explosive guys who can knock the top off of a coverage at any time. So we feel like they're more of a complete offense. They're not an offense that runs the ball all the time or throws it. They got a great balance, and they got skilled players at every position. I think now that they solidified their situation at quarterback, I think they become a little bit more settled and became a more explosive offense looking at the South Alabama game.
What does the defensive unit have to do from a pass defending standpoint to be a little bit more consistent?
Well, that comes with maturity. That comes with self-discipline, being your own coach on the field. And, sometimes that comes from your leadership. So obviously it's a work in progress, and we feel like we are getting better. But when you have a new defense that you're putting in without spring ball, with limited days in the summer, and, with all the COVID going around, I think our kids have done an exceptional job to be where they're at this point. And I expect them to get better week in and week out.
Hey, Greg, you're up.
Coach, how you doing?
Great. How you doing?
I'm doing well. I'm wondering what stood out about Jamal Liggins' 19-tackle game that we saw against Middle Tennessee.
Well, I've been talking about Jamal since I've taken the job here, or since the freshman reported. And he had an outstanding high school coach. He comes from an outstanding program. And he's carried a lot of those same work ethics here to UTSA. And he's buying into the culture of what Coach Traylor wants our kids to play like and play like. And, the way he's played is the way he practices. He practices with 100% effort. He's one of our best finishers day in and day out. And he's a kid that loves the game. So, it doesn't surprise me at all the success he's had, and I expect him to get better as we go along.
Yeah, when you first saw him, when he first kind of got on campus and got to working with you guys, did you see him contributing right away, or how did you envision his role for this year?
Well, I saw him working out with Coach Fowler, and of course we saw his high school film, and we knew he was an athlete. The things you couldn't see until you saw him in person is some of the intangibles, some of the qualities that he has as a person, and the passion that he has for the game. I challenged him in workouts in the summer. I said, hey, I want you to play linebacker. Do you think you can do it? He said, Coach, I can do whatever you want me to do or whatever you need me to do. And he has. He's taken the bull by the horns. He studied the playbook, and he's become a leader for us on our defense in a short period of time.
Yeah, you mentioned that move to linebacker. It sounds like the way Jeff described it to us is he was going to be looked at outside linebacker and then got moved inside from there. What was sort of the thought process on where he fit best?
Well, we obviously have a need at inside backer, and that's a position that probably was one of the worst parts of the defense a year ago. And we tried to upgrade the talent and upgrade the skill set of the guys who we had returning. And we just felt like he had enough ability. He could run, he could strike, he could do all the things that it took to be a successful linebacker. And fortunate for us, it worked out.
How quickly did he take to it? I know he played some defensive line the last couple of years in high school. Was it a big transition for him?
Oh, it's a huge transition. Anytime you go from playing with your hand down or being a defensive lineman to moving to linebacker, it's a huge challenge. And some guys can do it and some can't. And he's just one of those guys who could pick it up. Fortunate for us, and learn and study and commit himself to being the best player he could be. And it's just worked out well for us thus far.
Was there like a specific moment where he really jumped off and you knew like, okay, he's going to be a player here. He's going to be a guy we can rely on at the position?
Well, it kind of starts in the off-season program when they have volunteer workouts, and he's one of the guys that's out there and doesn't miss. And when he's one of the guys that's leading all the sprints and he's leading all the drills, you kind of figure out and say, hey, this kid's a leader. He's a winner. And he's got the right qualities, and he's not afraid to be out front in front of whoever they may be, whether it's varsity guys, as seniors, or other incoming freshmen. He wasn't worried about being cool. He wanted to be the best road runner he could be, and it's shown up.
Okay, JJ?
Ty, we talked a lot about Jamal, but Trevor's had a pretty good last few games himself. What has he done to solidify that inside linebacking group too?
Trevor is a guy that came in from junior college that was probably forced in a role of playing maybe before he was actually ready. He has worked and really improved not only on the field but off the field since I've been here. He's become one of the guys that we can lean on somewhat. And, he's a kid with outstanding ability. He can really run. He's gained some weight. He's studied the game. And now, he's working on his consistency. We still have mistakes at every position, but he's a guy that's really worked to, be an asset to the defense instead of a liability. And he's probably one of the leaders. He is one of the leaders in the linebacker room. So I'm really proud of Trevor and where he's come and how far he's gone, and hope he continues to make an impact for us defensively.
How would you rate the play of your cornerbacks? We've talked a lot about Tariq Woolen, but what about the guys on the other side and some of the guys that are playing behind them?
Tariq, he was a little slow to me in the beginning, but you know what, we have to remember this is only his third game playing corner. And, you talk about the toughest position on the field in college football is being a defensive back, and not only a defensive back, but a cornerback. No doubt he has a special skill set, but there's still so many more things you have to learn technique-wise to be a great player. And I think he's improved. He's improved every game that we played. And, his temperament's changed. His mindset has changed. He's a guy that wants to be more physical. He's a guy that doesn't play with a passive offensive mindset. He wants to be a physical defensive player, and I like it. It's showing up in his play, and he's aggressive. He's going to take the ball now. A lot of offensive guys say turnovers, and we say takeaways. And, when that ball's in the air, we feel like he has the right to go take it. And hopefully this Saturday we see some of the same results. On the other side, Corey Mayfield is a guy who continually works. Corey has outstanding speed. He has good size, and he's been solid. He's really been solid. Continue to master techniques and understand the defense, but I'm really happy with Corey. Corey gives us a chance to be aggressive with our play calling and allowing us to blitz the quarterback and leave him on the island. So all in all, Corey's held his own. We got a couple other guys. We got a freshman, Xavier Spencer from Judson. He's probably been thrown out there a little early, but he has the right makeups and the right skill set, and he's only going to get better. So we feel real good about those three guys being able to go in and compete at any time in the ball game.
Hey, Greg?
Do you believe in having your defensive backs and specifically the corners match up with certain receivers through a game, or do you like to mix that up? What's the philosophy?
I think it's a little bit of both. With tempo and people going no huddling so fast, it's hard to just say we're going to match you up on this particular guy. Offensive guys are too smart. They put receivers in the backfield. They put receivers in the slot. They put receivers outside. So just to say we're going to have one guy matched up on them, you can't. It's going to take, our entire secondary, whether it's corners at times, safeties at times, or nickels, dimes, whoever it may be, they're going to have to take turns in whatever the defensive call is that gives us the best chance to win on that down. So, to say we're going to put one guy, no, we do not do that.
And you mentioned that Tariq was maybe a little bit slower at times. How did you see his play impacted by having the cast on, and what do you expect going forward with that?
Well, I should say this. I didn't think he was as fluid at practice. I thought his game film was fine. I thought he played well. Actually, he was one of our guys we felt like graded out to be potentially a player of the week. So his performance on the field last Friday was good. He had a much better game than he did throughout the week of practice preparation. And he's had a better week of practice this week with the cast on. And hopefully he'll play even better this week. So that's what I was meaning when I said, he just wasn't playing as fast at the time and getting used to the cast and being on his hands.
And then I want to circle back on Trevor Hermansen. I know Jeff mentioned to us that he's made a lot of progress off the field and kind of changed a lot of things about his activities away from practice settings. What have you noticed about him in that regard during your time there?
Well, it started with his academics. We have a great support and academic staff that helps our kids and student athletes, but he's taking advantage of it. He's a guy that had a 3-point GPA or better this spring and summer, and that's something that he hadn't achieved before. So when I say growing up, they're understanding the importance of academics, being successful on that aspect of the game just as much as it is as the football aspect of it. And when you see those two, that's a great balance. Now you're getting a level-headed kid who going to have a chance to succeed in life, whether it's through athletics or not. His priorities are in order. And that's the thing that in order to be a leader, you have to do it all the time. You can't just pick and choose. And he's become a better leader off the field, away from the office.
Got it. Thanks, Coach.
Anything else?
Thank you so much, Greg. Yes, sir.
Anything else for Coach Nix? All right. Appreciate it.
AJ, you guys have a
Thanks,
good one.
Ty.
Thank you so much.
All right,
Yes, sir.
appreciate it.